contestants on American Idol. And this person is, thank you. This person I found just captured our hearts. I think you were only 17 when you got on the show, I think. Maybe 18, I'm not sure. But you just really captured our hearts. I'm sure some of you already know who we're going live with today. If you didn't already see our post, you can see it now. We are going live with Aliana Jester, and she is from the top 20 of American Idol. She loves Upnorthnaturals, and I think that's amazing. What caught our attention is her cute fro. She had like a little, I don't know if it was a big chop yet. I'm going to find out. And you guys could also figure that out as well. I'm just going to go ahead and get her on right now. And that way we can answer some questions and spend some time with you guys. Really what we want to do today is to welcome Aliana. And it just says view request, but I'm hoping I can click on for you to get in there, Aliana. We just want to tell all of you, tell a friend, just grab a drink. Hi! How are you?
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can definitely hear you. Okay, I'm just going to close everything off here. Now, excuse me, you look like you're in your backyard.
Yeah, we have 7 dogs in the house, so I figured it'd be easier to just do it outside.
I know, but I'm super jealous because if I were to go outside, it would be like snow everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was colder earlier, but it warmed up a little bit.
Oh, it's a little, what's the temperature in
this morning it was like 50. It was like 54, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like slowly coming to us.
Yeah, it's a little cold. So we've gone through some cold weather, but that's okay. Sometimes we spend time as a family in Florida around this time. But I'd like to find out more about you, Aliana, and so do our guests that are on with us. Welcome to all of you that are here. And you look so comfortable and relaxed and awesome. Are these headphones you've got on?
Yeah.
Are these your headphones? Okay.
Yeah.
High tech over there. So welcome, Aliana. You were in one of the most unique seasons on American Idol that we have ever witnessed. Mm-hmm. So we've been watching. I think we missed one season in the past, but we certainly were tuned in for your season. And we were captured right away. In your audition, girl, goosebumps where you looked fantastic, but most of all, it was your story. And even though I only heard a little bit of it, we're looking forward to hearing a little bit more of your story today. So just so everybody knows, okay, so I'm Lisa Kaiser of Upnorthnaturals. Maybe anyone who's come on because they know you're live, you already have your following and whatnot. But Upnorthnaturals is a hair brand. And we really were smitten when we saw, we don't know if you did a brand new big chop or not. You'll tell us your story. But we were very impressed because you got on that show with your natural hair, and no offense to weave and braids and all the protective styles, but to be on national TV and rocking your natural hair said something loud and clear. So,
yeah.
I'm just going to welcome you. Woo! Welcome you.
Thank
to our
you.
live today. So please tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then we can continue our convo from here.
So I am currently 20 years old. When I joined American Idol, I was 18. I had just turned 18. And I did do a big chop. Growing up, I feel like because I didn't know how to properly care for my hair, I never liked it. So I would straighten my hair, I would perm my hair, I would put relaxers in it, and it got to the point where like if you even touched it, it would like just fall in your hand. It was so brittle and just really bad looking. So I made the tough decision of just chopping my hair off. I think it was a month before my audition for American Idol, and I'm not gonna lie, I did cry because I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like the worst mistake I've ever made. But after a while, like I just got used to it, and then like seeing my natural curls, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. So that that was definitely a big moment for me. Probably besides American Idol, the biggest moment. Um, and then I found out Upnorthnaturals. I was bouncing between curling products because now I'm like, okay, now I got to take care of it and not go back to that point where it was just really bad. So when I found Upnorthnaturals, it worked so well that I don't even go to the store unless like I need to refill my products. It was so good. I even my aunt, she was like, "Is it really good?" I'm like, I don't even go to the store anymore for hair products. Here's a website because it was just that good. And that first wash really showed, like, you could just tell, and it was like more definition, more volume, definitely shinier. And I'm like, oh, this actually works.
Ah,
So that helped me on my hair journey. Um, when I grew up with my birth mom, and until I was 17, and then I moved in with my dad. So, and now actually I live with a roommate. So, my family lives in Key Largo, and I live in Tampa.
oh, very good.
So,
Excellent. Now, do you have so about your hair and stuff like that, as far as like ethnicity and things like that go, can you share anything about like your specific ethnicity? I know you're from, you predominantly Florida, right?
mm-hmm.
Other,
Yeah,
if you're traveling like you were for Hollywood Week, that was awesome. You got to go to Hawaii and everything.
yeah.
What? Tell us a little bit about your own background. So that would be like maybe you go back to grandparent level. I don't know.
So, a majority of my family is Puerto Rican. We are mixed with blacks. So I am Puerto Rican, black, and white. My dad is black and Puerto Rican, and then his family is Puerto Rican. And then my mom is white and Puerto Rican, and her family is Puerto Rican. So, yeah, I have like, I'd say about 50% Puerto Rican, and then 25 black, 25 white.
Right. And the thing about Puerto Rican is that you have basically everything. So
Yeah.
Puerto Rican could be where, like, say, the African ethnicity comes through. Could be from Puerto Rico. It could also be somewhere where the European side comes through. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. And why is my thing gone dim? Okay, so I find that interesting because I recently also did a DNA. We did our DNA. We're looking for find on my mother's side, and so
Mm.
I didn't know this at all. But everyone that we're related to on my mother's side is also Puerto Rican. Isn't that cool?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, that's good. So basically, you have a lot of your background and whatnot. Do you speak Spanish?
I do not.
Okay, that's okay. Neither do I. So
I got the looks, I just can't speak it.
yeah, I know. You probably, if you go away on vacation, sometimes they probably speak to you in Spanish.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, so we wanted to, so on this live, we wanted to find out a little bit more about the hair part and also where you're going, what your next steps are, and whatnot. Because you're pretty, I guess you would be considered young on the scale of vocalists, what most people, maybe, because these days, I think people are like, I don't know, you're seeing a lot younger people come on, especially shows like American Idol and some of the other shows that are out there. Could you tell us? I'm going to be all over the place because I'm not that organized, but could you tell us about your audition process?
Yeah, so it was super crazy. So um, the first open call audition was in Mobile, Alabama. I lived in Fort Walton Beach at the time, so it wasn't that far of a drive. It was maybe 2 hours. Me and my friend had woke up at like 4 in the morning and drove to Mobile, and I guess we were one of the first 100 people. I think they said 100 or 200 people. So that's when they make that little piece where the American Idol bus is like in front of people that are like cheering and all that. So I didn't know that. I was just trying to get there early, so I wasn't there all day and then have to drive all the way back home. So that was cool. We got to be one of the people in front of the American Idol bus. And then my audition there took off because the guy that was judging me, he was, I guess, fell in love with my voice so much that he had me keep singing all these songs. And after a while, I'm like running out of songs. I'm like, oh, I was there too. So on the third song, I was like, I could do Whitney. And he was like, oh, yeah, sing Whitney. Like, he was like, yeah, do Whitney. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started singing the end of And I'll Always Love You. And on that long and it got like quiet. It just like you could hear a pin drop because you have like 4 or 5 different tables set up and everyone's auditioning all in one room. So when I started belting out that last note, it just got dead quiet. And then that made me nervous because I'm like, oh no, now everybody's paying attention to me. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to keep going. And once I finished, he just handed me my paper and he was like, yeah, you're going. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. It was crazy. And I guess there was a news reporter or like a newspaper guy that was there for Alabama. And then he did a report on it, and then other people started reporting on it, and it was like all eyes suddenly went on me, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening.
I read that about you because I Googled you, of course, right after that. Like, but I Googled that, and I heard about that part of your audition, but I didn't understand where it was. Now I get it. Because it said you were amongst a large group, and that when you started, the room just hushed right down.
Yeah, it was crazy. It just got so quiet, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I know. How do you feel about being compared to Whitney Houston?
I mean, that's a big compliment in my book because she was a legend. You know, it's sad how she had to go, but you know, with her life, the legacy that she left was incredible. So every time someone compares me to Whitney Houston, I just take it as a huge compliment.
Yeah. I think that's amazing. And of course was one of our favorites, and I got it. I think it was Lionel that said it to you. What was it like working with Lionel Richie, with tell me Katy Perry and Luke? How was all?
They're all pretty great people, actually. We called Lionel Richie Papa Lionel because it was like every 5-10 minutes he was always giving us words of wisdom. And sometimes, like, he would forget that we're in the middle of recording, and every now and then the producers are like, Lionel, we gotta keep going. But he would be talking to us. I remember distinctly, I believe it was the first day of Hollywood Week, and it was the first round, and I was being interviewed, and they try to make you cry, and I don't like crying. I'm an ugly crier, so I don't really like crying, so. I remember I started crying and like I couldn't stop. It could be because I was tired too. And then Lionel comes in with his bodyguard and he saw me, and he, in the middle of recording, just walks right up to me and hugs me. And the people are like, oh, like, what do we do? Like we're trying to interview her, but like he just came straight up to me, and I don't know what he thought I was crying about, but he was like, you got this. I believe in you. Like, you just take a deep breath and you got this. And I'm just like, oh, thank you. Yeah, thanks. So that was cool. And then they're like, so how does it feel to have Lionel Richie just walk up to you and hug you? And I'm like, I don't even know how to feel right now. It was pretty cool.
You know, you could really feel that. Like, I like this mix of judges because, like, they really sincerely care, and you can see that. I mean, that's what we see from this side, right? Yeah. And it really comes through. It comes through, and I thought that was nice. I saw the picture of you where you were after not Hollywood Week. It was like when you were going to the live performance in Hawaii. Right? Was that Kona? Yeah. Where were you guys?
I know the resort we were at was it was like Disney Aulani. I'm not sure what island exactly we were on.
Okay. So I remember, I don't know, like I felt like you weren't sure, like, and I'm like, oh, she's got this. I was sure. You know, Canadians.
Yeah, I was not.
No.
Yeah, because it's crazy. So like, for the judging on that, it's like the mentality you have it's like everywhere, because it's like in the back of your mind, half of us are going home. Yeah. And half of us are staying. That's crazy, because at that point, like, everyone that's made it up to there, because everybody's amazingly talented, but obviously, like, the ones that got there are just like up there. So you're just thinking and like start like that's like when self-doubt comes in. I know self-doubt was coming in for me. And then my performance was towards the end. So I'm sitting watching everybody else perform, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm really going home, man. Like, and then when it comes to waiting, there is no specific order. They just start calling names, and then we were even trying to do some math. I remember me, Sam, Faith, Demi, and Joven. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were all just like, okay, that person's a yes and that person's a no. Maybe they're doing like every other person is like a yes and no. And after a while, it just started getting random, and then we were like, oh my gosh, like we can't figure it out. And then that person is getting sent home. Like, how did that person get sent home? If they're going home, I'm definitely going home. Like, there's just so many emotions but playing and like so many thoughts that it's just like you really don't know. And sure, I really was nervous, and I think they saw that because they were like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "No." So,
Was
but
there
it's good.
a lot of behind the scenes kind of support for you guys, the kind that we don't see, like the parents, like, when your parents came up to you when you were like talking about your thing, and then they came up from behind you?
That I was mad at them for that because we have this app called Life 360, so everybody knows where everybody is, especially because I'm my dad's first daughter, so he obviously worries, and he's so far. So they had called me like the day before, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, a little lonely, but I'm about to go eat and do whatever. They're like, "Okay, well, we're letting you know that we're both working late, and if we don't answer your phone, that's why. And if you check Life 360, we haven't paid for the monthly thing, so it might be glitching or whatever." That's because they turned off their location at home. Little did
Yeah.
I know they were on a plane all the way over here to come surprise me in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I was surprised, and that's why I was like, "I'm mad at you. Like, why you told me you were at work? You're here." And then
Yeah.
I didn't even know, but my roommate Demi also knew. She helped my mom and my family get over there, or like plan like a surprise. So I was like, "Y'all, no wonder why you guys were all avoiding me. It's because you had this big secret that you didn't want to tell me." So that was pretty fun. It was cool.
I love that scene because family is very important to us too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Mhm.
very close to my mom and my dad, so I
Mhm.
I melted when your dad came out there, and you had just, I think, in that scene, I don't know if you were talking. I think you had shared before about, the clips that lead up to,
Mhm.
you know you're you know that it was probably difficult for you during like the younger years and stuff. I'm assuming from based on what you were sort of sharing and your relationship with
Yeah.
your.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
really those scenes. It was amazing, and hearing you and seeing you was great. Like honestly. So, do you want to switch it up a little bit and talk a little bit of hair?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay. So I think a whole bunch of people just started, and you might not know. You might know who Eliana is, but you might not know who I am. But I'm from Up North Naturals, and we own. This. I just happen to have like a big old box. It's upside down, but this is our yeah. That's our full line box, and you had one of these, and it's got like our shampoo and our conditioner and our leave-in. Like these, you can't go wrong with, even if you're not styling for like total. Like today, I've styled my hair for
That's what's
more.
in my hair right now.
What's that?
That's
Yeah,
what's in my hair right now.
yeah, and you
I
can
just
just
took a nap before this, and it still looks the same. So that's pretty great.
yeah, and the leave-in hair milk is very moisturizing in hair, right? So we've got all this product, and okay, that's what we do. We have like for example, if there's the cleanser is just one cleanser. Like we don't have 5 different types of cleanser or different fragrances. Maybe in the future we may, but it's all sort of natural. Not sort of, but it's all natural. Yes, we use preservative and whatnot, but even the fragrance is natural fragrance. So you mentioned that you had other products, but you felt the difference right away. And I just wonder, how did that set you up for? Yeah, I can do this. Did that make you feel more confident that you could you go natural and feel good with your natural hair?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, a lot of people even noticed when I started using your product. They're like, "Oh, your hair is like your curls look so great, like they're so like voluminous." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, Upnorth Naturals. I can give you the website. I can show. They sell them at Target." And they're just like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's like even people notice the difference. It's a really great product."
So when we reached out to you, and we're from Canada and whatnot, were you surprised?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh shoot, that's so cool."
Yeah. Now, before you got on the show, talk about your decision to cut. You said that you had relaxers and things like that before. What was the style for the show? Like before you got on, how were you wearing your hair? Because I looked at your Instagram feed and I saw that you had like I don't know if it was like sew-ins or if it was like clip-ins, but you were wearing your hair with some inches. So I'm wondering, what were you doing?
Oh yeah, that was for so that was a style for prom, and I had a tight dress, so I was like, maybe I should get hair extensions. So my hair was straightened, and we did sew-in hair extensions that were like maybe 24 inches. So it went all the way down my back, and then I had dyed my hair the same color as the extensions, so that way it could have a more natural look. And believe it or not, like so many people thought that was my actual hair that when I took the extensions off, they're like, "Hey, you cut your hair?" And I'm like, "No, that was extensions." So that was that style. Graduation, I had a sewn-in wig that I took off like the next day because it was so itchy. I wasn't used to wearing wigs, so I took it off like the next day. I was like, "Take it off, take it off. I don't even care if you cut hair with it, just take it off."
Right.
And then after that, I was like slowly just cutting it. And after a while, like I saw natural hair growing in, and I was like, you know what? Let me just cut it. Let's just cut it all off.
Yeah.
Now or never.
Yeah, because transitioning is one thing, but when you're just eager for your own hair to come in, like one texture, and sometimes we have to relearn what our hair is, like what is our natural hair, and then relearn to take care of it. Like think back to when we were 7 years old, or back to the old pictures. We can see what our hair was, right? But then later on, somehow we forget that. Oh yeah, I had some curly hair. I had textured hair then. So some people don't know that their hair can actually do this natural curl thing. What hair pattern do you think you have? Curl pattern.
Mine, it's definitely a coarse texture, but it's coils. So I did take a nap, so they might have fallen a little bit, but some of them actually have twists. And my hair grows at like kind of highlighted. So the bottom half of my hair grows a lot faster than the top half of my head. So it's kind of boring, but I'm trying to find one. Maybe in the bag. Oh, here's one.
Oh yeah.
So they're like little coils.
Yeah.
Like that.
I would say, but I know that you don't. I think you like volume. Like
yes.
Right? I was going to ask you one of our questions, definition or volume?
Volume.
Volume.
Volume, for sure.
Yeah, and I struggle with that. I used to try to make my hair have more volume, but I found that I was just making it frizzy. So, like, this is it. Like, I don't, that's all I get, right? And I can make it, like, it looks fuller today, but that's it. So I just decided to just leave it. However it wants to go, I would just leave it. And I'm not really that worried. And then I saw that when you apply the product, you're basically just coating your hair, and then you're just letting it go. So that way you could let it do its own thing, which is also very nice, especially healthy base to start from. Some people are asking some questions or comments here. Uptight Curls by Amanda. Okay, you said I didn't even understand what natural hair even meant until I was forced to transition. Yeah, exactly. We don't really know. And she said her curl pattern didn't start to emerge like 7 months later after the big chop. And it's so crazy how they can just appear in 1 week. I know. And it's like our curl has free too, and then you have to find what's best for you. You have to find what works for you, which products work together and which don't, So for you, you have had access to the whole line, but for you, what would you say are your key things?
I typically will use a wide tooth comb when I wash and use a conditioner. That way one of my hairdressers said it prevents frizziness. So when I wash, I use a wide tooth comb. Then when I get out, as you guys saw, I do the hair milk and lotion in that order. I do the hair milk, then the hair lotion, then the oil. And I just kind of, when I do the lotion and the milk, I typically start from the bottom and work my way up, and I just start crunching. I'll flip, start crunching, flip to the other side, crunch, flip it up, start crunching, and then let it go out. If there's like a little frizzy curl, I just twist it. And then when it comes to the oil, I start from the roots. Work my way out. And then I do it again, and I start crunching. And then the same with the hair jelly. I start crunching, split, crunch. So that way it comes natural. And then I don't use a blow dryer only because I've heard mixed reviews as to if you use heat on it, it'll damage your hair. So I'm trying to avoid heat as much as possible to keep it natural. So I just let it air dry, and it just goes up and curls itself pretty much.
Yeah, that's good. Regarding the heat part of it and the blow drying, like I could attest to that because that was part of my journey. I kind of messed up. And even recently I just tried, my hair wasn't it was ready for a wash, but I thought, let me just see. Because I bought a blow dryer again after a very long time because my son, who is now going to be 4, coming up on March 31st. So I bought him a blow dryer with a diffuser because it's getting colder outside, and I want him to have his natural curls but not be freezing when he's going off to school, right? So I bought it, but what I did, like my hair, I had to trim my hair out myself because I took a whole chunk, like about this much of the hair, and I just decided to, blow dry the section. And then I noticed that the ends of my hair were completely they're okay now because I'm cutting it out, but you see that one piece right here, I just saw one like this, okay? Yeah. So that is what happened to me.
Yeah, it's like the curls sort of die in a way.